You know, if you keep your eyes and ears open, you never know what you're going to see or hear. So a couple years ago, I was wrapping up my tefillin after shul, and I was eavesdropping, not like on purpose, but these two older gentlemen were having a conversation nearby, and it was audible enough that I heard. And it was clear that they haven't seen each other in a while because one man said to the other, he said, "Are you still Jewish?" Now, I don't remember the rest of the conversation, but I was fascinated by that. Are you still Jewish? I mean, assuming the guy's mother was Jewish and that mother's mother was Jewish, like the guy's still Jewish. Yes, you can't not be Jewish once you're a Yid. I was thinking about the question a little bit deeper, and maybe it's a question we all have to ask ourselves, especially as we approach Hanukkah, and that is, are you still Jewish? You know, still means to remain still. You remain fixed in one place, in one area, in one thing, and you're dormant and stagnant, and there's a lack of vitality. Are you still Jewish? Or are you a Hanukkah Jewish? Or are you a emblazoned with fire Jewish? You see, because at our core, we are tzaddikim. At our core, we have a nekuda tova. We are good. At our core, we have a chilek elokam mamish. At our core, hiner Hashem nishmas adam. Our soul is like a flame. And guess what? There's no such thing as a still flame. A flame doesn't remain still. A flame always jumps and moves, and it's perpetually jumping and reaching and pointing upwards and heavenward and heavensward, right? That's the essence of a flame, and that's the essence of a Jew. Are you still Jewish? It can't be. It can't be. And if we're feeling still in our Yiddishkeit, if we're feeling like we're in one place, we have to jump out of there. We have to light Hanukkah with that much more vigor and that much more vitality and that much more passion. And that outward expression will hopefully influence something internally. Because the whole essence of Hanukkah is to be Mosef HaHolech, is that we're not still Jewish, but that we're moving Jewish, that we're perpetually growing Jewish, that we're on fire with our Jewishness and with our spiritual makeup and identity. We're not still Jewish. We're emblazoned with ruchnius and spirituality. And Hanukkah teaches us that the licht that we're lighting, hanerus halalu kodesh, but halalu is not just on the lights that are in front of us, but it's on ourselves. It's halalu on these, and that's kodesh. We are what's kodesh. We are holy. We're not still Jewish. We're passionate and excited about our Yiddishkeit because this is life. Ki chayenu v'orach yameinu. I want to share with you an idea that I wrote about in my book that's now available on Amazon. It's called Dovetails. And I would mean the world if you would go ahead and get this copy for you, for your family. It's a perfect gift. It's only $11.99 on Amazon. Go ahead, get your copy today. If you wouldn't mind, leave a rating and a review on Amazon. That would be amazing. So there's this idea that I shared in the book that I want to share with you. And this is from chapter 5. You know, Avraham Avinu saw the world as a bira achas dolakas. The Medrash says there was a bira achas dolakas. It was a palace that was burning, a palace that was on fire, that was literally, it was corrupted, and it was being consumed by a fire of negativity, by forces of destruction and evil. And Avraham Avinu saw this, and he said, no, he became an Ivri. I'm going to the other side. I'm going to the good side, right? And he left all of it, and he realized, okay, you know what? There's a God here, establishing monotheism, an incredible thing. So the classic way to read that medrash is a bira achas dolakas, that the world was being consumed by a negative fire. But there's another deeper way to read the words in the medrash, and that is Avraham Avinu saw the world as a bira achas dolakas, that the world was a beautiful palace that was dolakas. It was shining with illumination. It was shining with vitality. It was shining. It was on fire with spirituality. It was on fire with ruchnius. It was on fire with the potential for passion and connection and devekas on such an incredibly high degree. And Avraham Avinu looked around the world, and he saw he saw people, and he saw food and animals, and he saw trees and everything around the world. Wow, this is a world that's on fire with meaning, that's on fire with ruchnius, that's on fire with spirituality. Avraham Avinu saw the world as a bira achas dulekes, not that it was not that it was a world that was being caught in the negative, destructive, consuming fire, but that the world had this such great potential and such great spiritual energy. And he wanted to release that because everybody else was just putting it to the side. They were just ignoring that. They were just focusing on the darkness and the destructive aspects. But they weren't focusing on the fact, on the reality of the situation, and that is that the world was a bir achas that's delekes, its own spiritual fire. That it's not still. It's not still, but there's movement. There's perpetual. There's this notion of mosif aholech, that wow, what I'm doing right now can become greater, and that the physical objects and the physical things in this world and the physical pulls and lures of this world can be directed towards a divine purpose and mission. The world was on fire with spiritual potential, and Avraham Avinu saw that. And that's one of the lessons that the dove at the end of the flood, right? The dove wasn't the first creature to be sent out. The raven was. But the raven looked around and it saw destruction. It saw a flood. It saw just everything looked dead. And it saw a world that was still. It saw a world that was just suffused from all its life force. It saw a world that was consumed, a bir achas that was dailekes, that was consumed by this negative fire. But then the Yonah was sent out. And you know what the Yonah found? It found an olive branch, specifically an olive branch. It's from the olive branch that creates olive oil. And from the olive oil that creates a potential for illumination, for a flame. Because the dove, yeah, it looked at the same world, but it saw something completely different. It didn't see a bira achas dolekes that was consumed by a negative fire, but it saw a bira achas dolekes like Avraham Avinu. It saw a world that was on fire. The dove saw the goodness, the potential. Yes, there was a flood and there was destruction, yes, but it saw the ability to relight and reignite and re-aflame and re-ablaze the spiritual kochos that exists. The dove, which the Klal Yisrael is compared to, Nimshlu Yonah, we realize that, yes, we're not still Jewish. We can't still be Jewish. We have to be in passion with Judaism. We have to be on fire with our Yiddishkeit. That's one of the amazing things that the dove taught us. I just want to read to you inside, just the last section, a little anecdote. As we close this chapter, I'd like to share with you, dear reader, a beautiful anecdote about 4 candles that's very relevant to this discussion. Once upon a time, there were 4 candles burning in a room, and they started talking to each other. The first candle said, "Hi, I am peace, but at the present time there is chaos and robbery everywhere, and it seems like the world does not want me anymore. I'm sorry, I cannot stay here." And just like that, peace extinguished itself and left the world. The second candle said, "Hi, I am trust. Today the world is filled with lies and deceit, and it seems like the world does not want me anymore. I'm sorry, I cannot stay." And just like that, trust extinguished himself and left the world. The third candle said, "Hi, I am love. Today everyone is so busy doing their own thing. No one has time for me anymore. People are even forgetting to love their loved ones. I'm sorry, I cannot stay here." Just like that, love extinguished himself and left the world. A little boy then entered the room, and upon noticing the 3 extinguished candles, he exclaimed, "Candles, candles, why didn't you burn until the end? How can you leave like this?" At that moment, the 4th candle chimed in and said, "Dear child, do not be sad. I am hope. And guess what? While I am still burning, you can relight the rest of the candles again." And the child's eyes lit up and his energy was revitalized. He took the candle of hope and slowly began to relight the candles of peace, trust, and love. One of the deepest messages of Hanukkah is that we're alive. There's hope. There's the potential that for the bira achas deilekes, that the world is literally on fire with spirituality, on fire with meaning. It's up to us who are nimshal Yonah, who are children and have the DNA of Avraham Avinu. It's up to us to see the world in that positive light. So wishing everybody a freilichen Hanukkah, and we should all be zocheh to put on those proper lenses and vision to see the world through this positive outlook and be able to see the world as a bira achas dailakas on spiritual fire. And always remember, we're not still Jewish. We can't be still Jewish. We have to be on fire with our Jewish happiness. Wishing you all the best. And once again, I want to remind you, you could go ahead on Amazon and order your copy of Dovetails. Order it for yourself. Order it as a gift for Hanukkah gift for your children, for your grandchildren, for your family, for your friends, for your shul. Go ahead, Dovetails. I think you'll enjoy it. On the back has a beautiful display of the brachos that you could use while you're lighting the Hanukkah licht. And I think you'll, mamish, enjoy it. So go ahead. I can't wait to hear from you. Can't wait to hear your feedback. And Merit Hashem, wishing you an amazing rest of your day, a holy week, and have a lichtige Hanukkah.